According to Sun News Online, one of the Nigeria most leading online newspapers, after Sun News, you get the Guardians, you get the Daily Post, you get This Day Live, you get Leadership, you get Tribune, and so forth and so on, including Sahara Reporters of Sowore. Okay, the message came earlier this morning that the North is already for breakup. They have already prepared everything they need for that breakup. And having considered as a program that happened last night in via, what would I call it, either Zoom or we call it the Diaspora Panel, where most of the Northerners who appear on the program made it categorically clear to each and every one of us down the South that they are already out of that contraption called Nigeria. Let me not waste much of your time, please. I would like you to listen, or rather join us on this panel as they dissect the message to the understanding of every one of us who cares to listen or who believes on the ideology of the Biafran struggle. So please, let us listen to them. If there's any room for interjection, I will quickly jump in and do that and jump out as well, because we have to do everything we can to serve mankind, or rather to serve you the best that you can get from us, despite the fact that we are not perfect, we are not the best, or we are not the better. Okay, we are not the best among the best, but we are trying to be our best, or rather we are trying the best we can to serve you better.
Hello, welcome to the Diaspora Panel, the voice of the diaspora. With me, Mr. Olaitan Adediba, who is based in America. Mr. Adediba, you are welcome to today's meeting.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I have also Mr. Olalawa, who is based in Canada. Mr. Olalawa, you are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, in a recent video attributed to some online channels, we saw Akim Baba Ahmed, one of the leaders of ACF, that is Arewa Consultative Forum. It says the North says that Nigeria should not be allowed to descend into another civil war, and that if the Biafra agitation is so strong that it cannot be ignored, Nigeria should not stand in their way. So this to me is a paraphrasing to say if they want to go, let them go. And I'm going to start with you, Laita.
Yep.
This is a genuine statement coming from the opinion leaders of the North.
I need to make a public apology to every...
Will you say that they are prepared for that eventuality, that they are in their mind, they know this may have to happen at some point? So are they preparing for a breakup, or are they already prepared? Like that?
Yeah, the response from Baba Ahmed shows how frustrated they are. You know that the Fulanis in the North, they are feeling the brunt of Bola Tinubu's rule, President Bola Tinubu's rule. They are, they'll be feeding fat on Nigerian Commonwealth. Everywhere they are, in the military, in the ministry, in public, private sector, they are everywhere. But this guy is trying to wrong the rights everywhere. So they are feeling the brunt now, right? He said that out of frustration, right? So it's not genuine. And come to think of it, this guy that is talking, look at the way they are to tell you the double standard they are doing. They are playing in Nigeria. The Sanfara Gold, all the natural resources, be amethyst, sapphire, all these natural resources that the gemstones they are getting, they are shipping it direct to overseas. The northern highlights, the governor, the shopper will come to and land in the villages, right? They send it to the Chinese, and the Chinese harm them. Those people who serve as their bodyguard, they harm them, they keep them gone, they keep them everything, all the necessary things they want, right? So they have a lot of money. Why the natural resources in the south, they share it? You see the double standard. Yeah, they are not happy because they are the aim of affairs, right? It is whatever they want to do that they want to do. Look at the recruitment carried out in the CBN. Why Buhari was there? The CBN Abuja is meant for 200 people. They recruited 400 people. The remaining 200, they come there. They might come once in a month, and they will get the salary. No seats for them to sit down. But the money is there. Their name is in the roster. They collect money every month. So when Tinubu came, they now said, okay, they want to relocate some departments back to Lagos. But they said no. Why should you? Because all these politicians, all these Fulani politicians, they are the ones that brought their children there. They said no. They cannot relocate any department to Lagos State, right? And these are the double standard we'll be facing in Nigeria. The calculated few, the Fulani who are ruling us there, they are the ones that they are waging war, right? And they have enough now to fight. That is why they are coming out to fight. They have enough resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shupo, we have seen a spike in violence in many parts of the North recently. And the message emanating from northern leaders is that Nigeria is in a state of war. They are telling us now that we are actually in a state of war. So are we now in another civil war? Is this a North versus South war? Or is it a Christian-Muslim war? Are we now going towards, are they paraphrasing, telling us in parable that we're actually in a war now? and so we are going towards a point of no return. Is that what they are saying?
Well, thank you very much. So I think Nigeria is not in a civil war because in a civil war, there is a clear line and there are two sides, or probably multiple sides, but there are clear lines. I think Nigeria's crisis is more like many small fires burning at once. Some are political, some are religious, some are criminal, some are ideological. It's a multifaceted
Click the link, get the app, and start tomorrow.
Stage that has multiple fires, and these fires are not small. They are fairly large in their own respects. If you look at, for example, what we're witnessing, we have fragmented insecurity, banditry in the northwest, the remains of insurgency in the northeast, communal clashes in the middle belt. I think it's framed as farmer header clashes, but it's technically it's the Fulani trying to take land is what it is. Separatist tensions in the southeast. I think the south has largely calmed down because the federal government has actually come to the table to work out something with south militants. But we still have a lot of things. I mean, the religious front, for example, is alive and is very large, where Christians are being unalived in various communities and whatnot. So the language of state of war, I think, is often used to wake up leadership and to provoke a sense of urgency that these are big issues that need to be dealt with. If the people begin to believe it literally, it can actually become self-fulfilling. I think that is really the danger in there. Calling, the attention while doing the same thing, because I think this is important to mention. Majority of these northern leaders that will call these things out are actually underneath fanning the flames of these fires. I mean, let's call it a spade a spade. So if people begin to believe it, it can literally become self-fulfilling. And nations have collapsed before, not only from conflict, but from the belief that collapse is inevitable. I think if Nigerians are willing to just put all the cards on the table, we need some forum where Nigerians can come together and really, without fear of attacks or any form of retribution, say what they want. If I'm a Southwesterner, I should be able to come to the table and put my grievances on the table and say, okay, well, I want out of this union. And if I am to remain in this union, these are the things that I need to be addressed. Same thing for Southeast, same thing for South-South. Because as Mr. Olaitan said, where you have a scenario where the revenue from oil from the South is being shared, but the gold from the North is being shared only amongst northern leaders. I mean, let's not call it spade a spade. That's not a union. That is not a union. It's actually a union with a cheating spouse, is what it is. And nobody in Nigeria will stay in a marriage where you have a spouse who is cheating and is telling everybody else they must remain in the union. That's not going to happen. So let's call a spade a spade. If the North wants to remain in the union, those resources in the North must be mined, processed, and the proceeds must come to the federal allocation. And if you want a portion of it to stay in the North, then the portion of resources in all of the other regions must stay in those regions. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. So it all comes down to certain regions, coming with a sense of impunity that they will determine the fate of the rest of the other regions, and that is not going to happen. It will not be accepted today. It will never be accepted.
Thank you. Lighton, even though at this time it is the turn of the South to provide leadership for the country up to 2031, that is the argument that the South must have its own 8 years. But Fulani leaders, true to their type, they are not letting up. They are not letting go. They are contesting the election. They are contesting with the Southern candidates. I remember that in 2014 and 2019, the South did not compete. They allowed them to compete with each other, and they allowed them to produce the leadership. But in 2023, Atiku contested. Kwankwaso contested. 2027, Atiku is getting ready to contest again. And Kwankwaso also ready to be on the ballot again. So if by any chance, any stroke of chance, if in 2027, a northerner win this election and take it away from the South, do you think that this may cause the South to navigate away from Nigeria?
Since the day you were born, a God...
You need the point on the head. To your 10th old Nigeria. Once that happens, if there is a gentleman agreement that, okay, let's not do 8 years, then the South will do the 8 years. So, but now, Atiku has been contesting. He contested last 2023. He wants to contest again in 2027. What we are saying, that goes a long way to drive home what I've been saying. The impunity of the ruling class in Nigeria, that they believe that they can do anything they want, they can go away with it. That they can change the rule at any time. In the middle, at the midstream, they can change the rule and go away with it. Nothing will happen. They can say they want to. Remember Obasanjo now? He wrote to Buhari to annul the election of Tinubu. If you can remember, he wrote to Buhari that the Tinubu election wasn't free and fair. He said they should annul it. Look at how Babangida too. How he annulled FGWIO election. So these are the kind of the leaders we have in Nigeria. They don't have any respect for anybody, talk less of the constitution, right? So it is high time we play the game according to the rules. We cannot just continue like that as a nation and say that we want to get the result. Nobody must be above the law. Everybody, however the case might be, that is the constitution and our constitution. The constitution of Nigeria, the pattern is over American constitution. The constitution is we, the people, the 3 words. It's meant for us to obey the constitution. What is there? The moment we don't obey the constitution, that we have problem. Like the ADC who are moving from one place to another, who are moving from one court to another, right? And they don't invite INEC to come and witness their election. The primary they conducted.
They are privatizing another man's party.
Yeah, they are privatizing another. That is how Tinubu described them now. They are privatizing another man's party. So and they believe that they want to go away with it. No, it is not done. We cannot get headway. Like Atiku did too, where the party members say, okay, pick Wike. He said no, he's not going to pick Wike. He's going to pick Okowa. So these are the things that normally cause problems. When you follow the rules, that is why the developed world, they are better than Nigerians, right? Everything is in order. You must obey this order. It's order, right? Because of this ruling class in Nigeria, the elites, they don't believe in the law. The law is meant for the grassroots, right? So that is what is causing the problem in Nigeria.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Another argument is that since northern politicians contested in 2023 and will contest in 2027, it may now be very difficult, to prevent southerners from contesting in 2031.
Yes.
So, and I'm thinking that if that happens, that may be the perfect timing for an ego presidency. It's looking to me like at that point, nobody will want to vote for Fulani. And I'm thinking that Obi might likely get support of the Old South, the Christian Middle Belt, and Obi might likely become president in 2031. Do you think if this happens, the North will cry foul, even though they created this problem of not, agreeing with rotation? They created one. So do you think at that point they might likely say that they want to exit Nigeria?
Well, they can say whatever they want if that happens. But let me be very frank. I think the moment Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and Atiku Abubakar contested the 2023 presidential election, that arrangement is gone. Let's just be frank, because if either of them had won the election, would they not have been sworn in as president after 8 years of another fellow Fulani? So what are we saying? In fact, as a matter of fact, I will support a southern candidate being on the ballot and contesting for the 2031 presidential election. Who that southern candidate will be, I think will be up for debate, but I will support a southerner in that light. Now, if the South wants to be strategic, there are 2 ways to do this. The North is not a single voice anymore. It is vast. It is a diverse region with competing interests. We've seen the North Central actually coming out to say we are not part of the Northeast and the Northwest. We are our own people. We have our own, political ambitions, and we have our own, issues that we'd like to address. If the South can work out an arrangement with the Christian North Central and actually have a Christian North Central candidate contest and win in 2031, you will begin to see an alliance of the North Central and the South basically ruling Nigeria perpetually forever. That is a stronger possibility. Because if you want to peel the North Central away from the core North, you have to give them something. But even if what comes out for them is a vice presidential position for somebody like Peter Obi from the Southeast in 2031, it is still a far better outcome for them than what they've had in all of the years that the North has been in power. So I honestly think Southerners should give this a strategic thought, because this will perpetually keep power in cycles that we know are prepared to move Nigeria forward as a country. And at the end of the day, it will be up to the Northwest and the Northeast to decide if they want to remain in that union. If they choose not to, that will be up to them.
Peter Obi, Ndo, and Nto. See where they pass you? Yeah, some people might be against the opinion of these guys here. Maybe because they are Yorubas, my brother. Everything that they said here is the truth and nothing but the truth. That is how the game has been played. So you people cannot fault them, but fault your brother that is called Peter Obi, who's supposed to have been known that nothing for him. They are placing him in 2031. Maybe from then they can place him in 2035 or 2039. But Biafra is going. That is the gospel truth, and that is the good news here. Have a nice day, my people. Okay, please, 1 or 2 comments. Please, 1 or 2 comments. Somebody said, Moses said, it is our prayer that the Fulani start their war. They will fly off Nigeria by force. The Boko Haram, the kidnapping, terrorism is already more than any war. A country where there is no trust among its leaders is in a greater war. Okay, the situation is in the Middle Belt. It's not a farmer-herder clash, but a clear genocide intended to inflict fear and conquer the region as part of the North in the event of dividing Nigeria. Okay, maybe. Okay, my people, make on use on a tongue to count on a teeth. Give me some.